The meeting will come to order. Welcome to the virtual November 23rd special meeting of the West Hartford Mayor's Youth Council. My name is Grace Furia and I am the chair to the Youth Council. This meeting is being conducted in a virtual format in accordance with Section 149 of Public Act number 21-2, which authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings virtually. Members of the Youth Council and some town staff are participating by WebEx. Members of the public can view the meeting live on the WHCI YouTube channel. The meeting is also being recorded for on-demand viewing, which will be available on the town website and YouTube. Because of the virtual format, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover before I begin. First, I ask that all participants to please mute your devices when you are not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I will call on you in the order that I see hands go up. If you are participating via audio only, or I do not call on you, then please unmute yourself and let me know so that I can recognize you. Second, all speakers must make an effort to state their name at the outset of each occasion that such person speaks. Third, to the extent that we take any votes today, due to the difficulty in tallying voice votes on a video conference, I will require that all votes be taken up by roll. Fourth, during the course of the meeting, if there is a participant who has a problem with their connection, you should immediately contact me via the contact information provided to you prior to the meeting. I will subsequently recess the meeting while the problem is resolved. If it cannot be resolved quickly, we will ask you to call into the meeting using a phone and participate via audio only. I want to thank everyone in advance for their patience as we work in this virtual setting. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If we can all recite the Pledge of Allegiance at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now call the roll. Would the following members of the board please say present when your name is read? Reese Berrigan.
Present.
Daphne Brewer.
Present.
Jack Gold.
Present.
Fiona Goldfisher.
Present.
Sarah Grunquist. Sarah? Okay. Heiko Mordecai.
I'm present.
Maya Palinki.
Present.
Chris Rimmel.
Present.
Zara Shazad.
Present.
Priya Sinha.
Present.
Let the minutes show that a quorum was present. The next agenda item is approval of minutes. The minutes of the October 18th and 19th meetings were distributed to you. Are there any corrections? Seeing none, the minutes stand approved. The next agenda item number 3 is subcommittee reports. At the last meeting, Mayor's Youth Council selected 3 subcommittees and members were asked to meet at least once before November 23rd to brainstorm ideas for impact project. At this time, I will ask a representative of the Mental Health Action and Awareness Committee to speak about what their subcommittee has discussed so far. Fiona.
Hi. All right. I am talking about the mental health committee. We met to discuss possible impact projects and different ideas that we can raise. A few examples are number 1, a parental meeting for mental health discussion with a professional for parents. Basically, that would just discuss teens' mental health, like their children, like for example, what to look out for, how to help them, other things like that. It would basically just be an online seminar, free to join for all parents. Another example of something we discussed is an ongoing group for teenagers to discuss mental health issues in person, maybe once a month, maybe once a couple of weeks, something like that. We're going to fully talk about that next week. Some more about the idea of possibly collaborating with the Bridge family. And then for next week's meeting, we're planning to finalize project plans and figure out who exactly we want to collaborate with and how to contact them. And we also are going to talk about how to make these different projects achievable and beneficial to the town and its teens.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions or suggestions for this group? Thank you for that report. Can we hear from a member of the Teen Social Events Committee? Someone from the Teen Social Events Committee? Chair recognizes Daphne.
Hi, I'm Daphne from the Teen Social Events Committee. I know that for the past month that we've had to kind of like think about it, we decided we were actually talking with the Cultural Day group, and we were basically discussing how we could best like combine our two specialties to kind of like better spread the word about the event as well as, get other people involved and how like with a bigger group that could be better taken care of and pulled off. So I know that's what we had been discussing.
Does anyone have any questions or suggestions for this group? Okay. Thank you for the report. Can we hear from a member of the International Night/Diversity Night Committee? Chair recognizes Keiko.
Okay, so during our meetings throughout the month, one event that we planned was Diversity Night, and we wanted this to take place in like during a warmer time, like most likely like end of April to May. And we wanted this to be like a really like light celebration. We wanted to have like different cultural foods and different celebration and different activities, and we wanted it to be really kid friendly. So we have been looking into different activities that would involve people of all ages. And another event that we were planning was something that's still in the works, but it's a little more serious. We wanted to have like a conversation or like a panel where people could talk about like the things we think that they think that they could that West Hartford could improve about with racism in our towns and in the town and also in like the schools and how we can further educate like the children of our town. And we want this to be targeted more towards like the adults of our town and more towards like the high schoolers of our town. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or suggestions for this group?
I have a question for all the groups. This is Mrs. Carp. My question is, where would these events be taking place? So for example, the mental health action and awareness, would those events actually be happening at the bridge potentially, or would that be happening in a school? Would that be happening at the library? Has anyone thought about where their events will be taking place?
Chair recognizes Keiko.
So for our diversity night, we were thinking about doing it in the center. So it was like free and open for like anyone to join. And for like the more serious event, we were thinking of doing it at like town hall or maybe even getting a chance to use like, there's a space in the public library where we can use that as like an opportunity because there's like a place people can speak and like there's like speakers there. So we thought that would also be a good idea.
Chair recognizes Chris.
Like more specifically in like the public library, the room across from the children's room in Noah Webster. That's what we mean specifically.
The library meeting room? The
I
large
think-
room at the Noah Webster Library?
Yeah.
Chair recognizes Maya.
We haven't really talked too much about where exactly we do it, but I think either the library or, as you said, a school, somewhere that people like know and is more well known, I think would be the best option. But we have to check availability and talk it over more. But definitely, those are good options.
So yes, if anyone would like to use the library or Blueback Square, I can definitely coordinate on that. I would just like to mention that last year, Maya was actually part of a program that we did at the library in collaboration with the public schools, which was a panel discussion that we had for Asian American Month, which was in May. And I thought that was a very successful program. So if we could replicate that in some way by running another virtual panel, that would be something that the library could definitely help with as well.
Chair recognizes Fiona.
I just have not a question, but just made a comment what you just said. So you're talking about that panel. What if we did something kind of to replicate that? Maybe talking about different ideas on different days, and we'd, I guess, elect different people, maybe, or ask different people from like Hall High School or Conard or from other schools, maybe even like private schools to come and talk about it. It can be like a lot of different topics. Like I don't remember exactly the exact topic you just said because this idea was forming, but we can have different ideas that kind of even correlate to these different committees, maybe.
Yes, it was for Asian American Heritage Month in May.
Any other questions or comments?
Sorry, this is Mrs. Carp. One other comment. Would it be helpful if I attended any of the subcommittees meetings, or do you prefer to meet on your own?
I don't know if I'm speaking for everyone, but I think that would be helpful for at least our group having a little bit of just structure, someone else to bounce ideas off of. Chair recognizes Fiona.
So while we're talking about this, what might be really cool is if we have a Google Calendar that's shared to all of us, and then on the Google Calendar we can have when different committees are meeting at different times. Because maybe if someone from like one committee wants to join another meeting just to kind of put their input in, that might be a good idea, maybe.
Any other questions or
Yes.
comments? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, yes, Fiona, I like that idea of having a Google Calendar so that way I can take a look at it. And if I'm free, I'm not on desk or something, I would definitely love to jump in a meeting and be a sounding board for whichever committee is meeting.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Thank you all for beginning your work on your impact projects. Please continue communicating with your subcommittees and meet with each other before the December 21st meeting to modify your impact projects based on the feedback and discussions that we had tonight. The next agenda item is new business. Mrs. Karp, our staff liaison, will start with meeting rooms and dates.
Okay, so recently I shared with everyone that we need to send the 2022-2023 Mayor's Youth Council dates to the town clerk and deputy town clerk. So I've created a list of dates and asked if anyone had any conflicts or any problems with any of the dates that were shared. Nobody has said anything, so I think the dates will stand as they are. But the one thing that we have to consider is the location of our Mayor's Youth Council meetings. So for this year, we have said already that we're going to be meeting virtually until the end of the year, which is in April, May. But we actually have the opportunity to meet in person if people would rather do that instead. So I was wondering if we could vote now to see if people would prefer to have our January, February, March, April, May meetings be in person or in WebEx. And since some people don't have video camera on their screens, I was thinking that maybe we could take a roll call vote. So I motion that we take a vote to decide whether we would like to hold future Mayor's Youth Council meetings in person. Does anyone second my motion?
I second.
Zara, I second that.
Zara seconds the motion. All right, so after I say your name, say yes if you would like the future meetings of Mayor's Youth Council to be in person. Reese.
Yes.
Daphne.
Yes, if possible.
Grace.
Yes.
Jack.
Yes.
Fiona.
Yes.
Sarah. I think Sarah might be having a problem with the microphone. Let's see. Sarah, can you vote in chat by any chance? Okay, Sarah says yes in chat. Kaiko,
Yes.
Maya,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Zara,
Yes.
and Priya.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for voting. It looks like we are 11 in favor of in-person meetings. So I will, starting in January, schedule meetings either at Town Hall in room 312 or in the library boardroom, and I will let you know of the location of the winter and spring meetings. That's all that I have.
Chair recognizes Secretary Sarah Grenquist and Member Chris Rimmel, who will speak about Mayor's Youth Council's Google Classroom and Discord accounts.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Here you go. Just gonna share my screen. Let me know if for whatever reason you guys can't see this at some point. Okay. So first off, about Google Classroom. If you haven't joined already, just gonna show you quickly how to join. You can go to Google. I'm not sure if you need a Gmail account for this or not. It might work if you don't have one, but it also might not. So I'll have to check on that. But you're just gonna go to the square of 9 dots in the corner. This is on Google. Click on that, go to Google Classroom. And when you get here in the upper right corner, you're gonna see this. You're going to click on the plus, select join class, and then you'll get the screen down at the bottom. And you can enter the class code that I sent you guys a little while ago. If anyone needs me to resend it, just let me know and I'll do that. Then moving on to the Google Classroom, when you get into it, this is what you're going to see. This is the stream. This just has all the posts that have been made, all the materials. If you go now to the click on the classwork tab up here that's highlighted in the upper center. It has the same posts, they're just organized into different topics. So here you can see this was our recording we did. So this is organized here. As the year goes on, different projects that we participate in can each have their own tab with all the resources for them necessary organized, just so you can access them quickly. Then now on information from meetings. So far, there's just the Google Drive folder. In the Google Drive folder, if you click on that, there's the agendas and the minutes from our meetings. If you guys want to look at those. Then down here at the bottom, this is the meeting dates where you have the dates for the meetings. Just says like this one said over WebEx since it's not in person, and things you should prepare for that. So that's pretty much all that is there right now. Overall, it's just really a place where you can really quickly access any resources you might need, just any dates you might need, organize things. So that's all that's there right now. I do think there actually is an option to create a calendar on this. I'll have to look into that, but that's something that can be done in the future. But so far, this is what's here.
For the Discord, let me. I don't have admin on the Discord as well, so if I could get that, that'd be helpful. And you need to have a link to join it, but I probably shouldn't put the link publicly here. So just email me through the Google Classroom probably. And then there's text channels where you can talk, and then there's an off-topic channel where you can just like either discuss plans to meet or just hang out and do whatever you want, do like appropriately. So, and then there's also voice channels where you can have subcommittee meetings, but you can't have more than 6 people, which would make it an official meeting, but you can't have within these. So, yeah.
Can I ask everyone for their feedback about Google Classroom and Discord? Are these effective tools for us? Or should we get rid of one of them? Or should we keep them both? How are we feeling about Google Classroom and Discord?
This is Grace Furia. I just want to say thank you so much, Sarah and Chris, who spent a ton of time organizing all of this. Really appreciate it. Google Classroom and Discord look beautiful, and we really appreciate the time and effort that you put in to helping make our council more organized. So thank you guys. Yeah. So does anyone have any comments? Chair recognizes Kaika.
I just want to say that I thought that using Google Classroom is a really good idea because I think a majority of us use Google Classroom for schools right now. So I think since it's such a familiar platform, I think that we should definitely keep like the Google Classroom. And I also think that the Discord is a good idea because personally I use it outside of school. And I also think that it's like a really effective way of communicating. So
Chair recognizes Mrs. Waxman. I don't think we can hear you. I think you're still muted. I don't think we can hear. I think you're still muted.
Oops, so sorry, everybody. I'm asking for your help. Can somebody please explain to me the difference between the Discord server versus the Google Classroom and why we would use one and not the other if they're similar? Thank you.
Chair recognizes Daphne.
From my experience with both of these things, Google Classroom isn't really a place to talk, I'd say. It's more of a place to kind of share documents where everybody has access to them pretty easily, while Discord would be more of a place to like discuss what specifically goes on the documents. You can use it while you're writing them to just communicate quickly, like person to person, while Google Classroom is more about sharing the specific documents between each other.
Thank you, Daphne. So which one would be best for our purposes here? Or both?
I'd say you could use both. They're two pretty different things, so.
Thank you again.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
So if we do get Google Calendar in the Google Classroom, will everyone be able to put content on it, or will we have to go through Sarah, the secretary, in order to add to the calendar?
Chair recognizes Jack.
This is Jack. I believe everyone can create some sort of post with whatever content they want on it. I'm not sure, they might have changed the rules, but I remember that there were some restrictions as to what people could post because the teachers could make different types of posts and the students could only write like a comment. It might be different, but it's just that's what it is.
Chair recognizes Sarah.
I can definitely figure out a way to make sure that everyone can add comments because you can also just post, we can create like a separate calendar and just post the link in Google Classroom so everyone can add things to that.
Chair recognizes Chris.
If everyone were to be given like the role of teacher, I think they could also edit it through that. So if you can like change the people's roles to teacher in the Google Classroom, that would also work, I think.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. Chair recognizes Mrs. Karp, who will give an update on the Human Rights Commission and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Okay, so on November 3rd, Chris Ramal and I were guests at the Human Rights Commission meeting, and we were asked if Mayor's Youth Council would record members reading Articles 1 through 14 from the UN's Declaration of Human Rights for a video that is going to be shown in a virtual celebration on December 10th. So far, I think 9 members of Mayor's Youth Council have gone to the Noah Webster Library Tech Lab and the Faxon Library to record clips, and 2 other members are recording videos at home and will be submitting them to Pramod Pradhan, the Community Services Librarian at the Faxon Library, and he will add those to the compilation. I would like to thank the members of Mayor's Youth Council for helping with this project so quickly. We found out about it on November 3rd, and people came in November 15th and 17th to do the recording. So thank you so much for that. And also thank you to Pramod from the Faxon Library for editing this project and recording it for us.
Lastly, we would like to open up a discussion about the possibility of creating a Mayor's Youth Council social media account to publicize the group and help advertise our impact projects. Does anyone have thoughts on how to best approach this? Chair recognizes Fiona.
So I think what might be a cool idea is if we have a whole other committee for social media. And what I think would be really beneficial, since we're a group trying to help teens in West Hartford, is we can do some sort of maybe like Instagram or something like that. Either way, it's going to have different polls of different ideas that people can give to us, because we're just like the representatives of a lot of people, and there's a lot of teens here, I'm sure, have a lot of really good ideas. So if we have a social media account made by a group of like a few of us, then we can really like actually get a bunch of people from West Hartford to like give us their ideas as well, which I think will be very important. Something like maybe an Instagram, even like a TikTok maybe, but.
I really like that idea, Fiona. And well, if we are going to have 3 subcommittees and 2 of the subcommittees are thinking about combining, would there be a way we could make International Night and social events one committee and then have a social media committee be a different committee? This is an idea. I think I said Daphne. Chair recognizes Daphne.
Yeah, I really like Fiona's ideas because I feel like there are probably a lot of teens out in the community who would have been glad to be a part of this, but maybe didn't hear about it in time or just didn't get in or just really want their voices heard. So again, I think that Instagram would probably be the smartest to have, just I feel like that's where you can do the most talking between one another, I feel. And also I really like the idea of having a separate committee, because I do feel like having 11 different people all controlling one Instagram account could get a little like unprofessional, but yeah, I really like that idea.
Yeah, I feel like if we had a separate committee controlling social media, then we can be more involved in the community instead of it being something else that we have to do on top of our other committee assignments. It can kind of just be something that we're all kind of that is a committee assignment and is specific to that group, and they can spend more time on that. Chair recognizes Chris.
In terms of like the combination event of the 2 committees, we weren't looking to like fully combine. We were just looking to work on a specific part of our project with the other committee. Like since we're planning to have 2 different events, we're looking to have like the celebration kind of event alongside them, since it like matches what they were going to do, and then the other event like be our own separate thing. So there's
Okay, cool. That makes sense. I think I understand that now. Chair recognizes Kaiko.
I just wanted to add on to like what we were saying earlier about the social media. I think that like the Instagram to me is the best way of reaching the teens in our community, because I know like a lot of people right now, they're on Instagram, and it's really easy like to reach out. And I also think that we could also like find a way to like get it like known in the schools about like the way like different like events we're planning. Like we could probably like I know at hall like you're able to do like announcements in the morning if there's like a club or something going on. So I'm pretty sure like if we just like ask the office, we could easily get like events known about and things like that. And to what Chris was saying, we were on like we weren't really thinking about merging. We were more just thinking about like them helping us with like one aspect of it. So yeah.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Does anyone else have any thoughts on this? Okay. Would anyone like to take on the role of communication officer and be in charge of collecting and posting content for Mayor's Youth Council social media? Please indicate your interest by, so we have some issues with camera, so I think it would be best to do a roll for this one. So when I say your name, say yes if you would be interested in taking the role of communication officer, and say no if you would not be interested, or if you already have a position. Reese Berrigan,
No.
Daphne Brewer,
I would, yes.
Jack Gold,
No.
Sienna Goldfisher,
Yes.
Sarah Grunquist,
No.
Heiko Mordecai,
No.
Maya Palinki,
No.
Chris Rimmel,
No.
Zara Shazad,
No.
Priya Sinha.
Yes.
So the secretary is going to know who's interested. Yes, chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
So from hearing that vote, it sounds like the group that is teen recreational activities, which is Jack, Reese, and Daphne. It sounds like Daphne might be interested in being on a separate subcommittee for social media. So do we think, Jack and Reese, would you like to roll into the International Night Diversity group, or would you like to stand alone as the smaller group? What are your feelings about your subcommittee?
Chair recognizes Jack.
This is Jack. I believe that the international night can merge into our group just because the international night, it is a social event and it can happen more than once. So it kind of falls under the planning social events group. That's just where I stand on it. I think Reese, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do feel the same way, and I don't think there's any reason that one committee or another can't promote their own activities in the same way.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
Yes, so I think that would be maybe the best idea in this situation. Rather than trying to have 3 impact projects, maybe we could just have the 2 impact projects, which is the mental health, international, and diversity programs. And then the 3rd subcommittee could work on social media. But I would like the members of the social media group, like myself, to maybe rotate into the other subcommittee meetings so that they can kind of get a feel for what kind of images and video we would need for the social media. And I think I would throw out a blanket statement to everyone in the committee. If you can be thinking about visuals that we could use in social media, I would appreciate pictures, images, video from everyone in the group. So if you happen to be doing something Mayor's Youth Council related, if you could snap an image of it, and then maybe we could create a folder in the Google Classroom where we have all these images, because images are powerful. As librarians, we know we use them all the time to promote what we're doing. So I think we should be mindful of collecting pictures as we go along. And I do like the idea of having a separate subcommittee for social media. Do the people who said yes to social media, are you okay with being a separate social media subcommittee and maybe stepping back from your other groups?
Chair recognizes Daphne.
Yes, I'd be okay with that, just to answer your question, Ms. Carp. But also, I just wanted to say, this is just an idea. If we're gonna have a social media page like Instagram, it's kind of common that someone will have like a logo or an icon that they could use. So I'm just thinking maybe a Mayor's Youth Council logo that could have a competition or just have the public submit some logos. That could be a good way to like raise awareness as well as find a logo for us we could use. But yeah.
Chair recognizes Sienna.
So I originally didn't realize that we can only be in one subcommittee. So if I have to either choose mental health or this one, I'd rather choose mental health. But if I could be in both, that'd be great. Is that a specific rule where I can only be in one?
Chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
Sorry. Yeah, I think you could be in 2 groups. That's okay.
Who was after? Chair recognizes Jack.
Going back to Daphne, could we possibly make that like a competition throughout the schools? So like we can make an announcement at Conard, at New England Jewish Academy, at Hall and at KO to just say, give us a logo, we'll vote on it. Is that something we could do next week or something like that?
Chair recognizes Mrs. Waxman.
I absolutely love the idea of a logo. I love the idea of a contest. But I want you to know something else, that at the library, we have some professional graphic designers. Not that we're going to use their designs because this is your youth council, but they perhaps could be judges or help anybody as needed. But I think you need your own identity, your own logo as your own identity. Carrie and I just put out a sort of logo for your group when we formulated the project, but this is a great opportunity to have a first stab at your own visual. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Priya.
Could I also be in both subcommittees? Because I feel like they're both important to me, so.
Chair recognizes Zara.
I think the competition thing is a really good idea, but in order to have like a competition, you have to have some sort of like incentive for people who win. So like, are we allowed to do that, or like give them like a gift card or something? I don't know.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
Yes, so Mayor's Youth Council in and of itself does not have its own budget, but I'm sure that out of the library budget, if you wanted to have some kind of incentive or prize, I could purchase that. So I'm wondering if this contest, if the publicity subcommittee would be planning this contest. Jack had mentioned running it within the next week or so, but I feel like we should probably plan on it maybe for the December 21st meeting and then talk about it, and then we can run it early next year. That would be very good with our schedule for Mayor's Youth Council, because starting in the spring, we're recruiting new members for next year. So if we can get something out January, February, have the contest, and then in April, May, people start to apply for Mayor's Youth Council, I think that would be good for our timeline. So I would say if the people on the social media subcommittee, if they could come up with the contest idea by December 21st, that would be helpful.
Chair recognizes Maya.
I think also that before we have a contest, we need to promote what Mayor's Youth Council is to all the students in the school. So yeah, I think before, in the months leading up to the contest, we should start trying to promote it and find different methods to, I guess, spread it.
Any other thoughts on this? Oh, Chair recognizes Reese.
going off of what Maya said, I think was it. I think it was. I think it's also a good idea to through the competition also increase people's awareness of what the Mayor's Youth Council does in general. And I think it would be a great opportunity for us to get our youth population's opinions about what we should be doing for them. So, for example, because we have the mental health committee, we could better get ideas from them and start pinpointing and focusing what specific issues we can start working on instead of doing a wide variety of issues all at once. So that way we can better put attention to views and ideas and issues one by one.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
So I was thinking that at the library, we have a website. And as part of our website, we could have a page for Mayor's Youth Council where we could be publicizing what the group is doing. Possibly I could get a page on the town website as well, but perhaps the social media group could also work on our webpage and content for the webpage as well. Because I do agree, we should advertise who we are, have like a landing page that people can view to see what we're doing, but then also have the social media, Instagram as a complement to that. So if the people in the social media group would like to help with the website, I can definitely put the content on there.
Chair recognizes Maya.
I like Reese's points a lot about like asking students in the community their opinions. And I also thought that maybe since I know at Conard we have kind of like an events coordinator who sends out emails of things going on in the community to all the students. And I thought it would be interesting if we could try to get a few surveys out there to students that don't have to be really related to the contest about just issues they think are prevalent, maybe ideas that they have and things they want us to address. And either the events coordinator, whoever works at the school, could get it out to all students. And potentially that could be a good way to get more input and also spread awareness about Mayor's Youth Council.
Chair recognizes Reese.
Going off of what Maya just said, I agree. Doing surveys would be a great way to get people's opinions very quickly. I know specifically at Conard, our current sitting student council vice president, Jeffrey Rosberg, is very popular among the student body. And so I'm good friends with him as well. And if I were to ask him to email the students of Conard, I don't think there would be any doubt that we would get a large response if Jeffrey were to hand in hand also promote the Mayor's Youth Council.
Any other thoughts on anything that we discussed? Okay. So Mrs. Carp will be in contact with the new publicity group about account setup, town social media policies, that sort of thing. And then the next agenda item is announcements. Would any members like to make a council-related announcement? Chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
Just two things. One, a follow-up on the Witness Stones project. This is a final call for anyone who might be interested in helping with the Witness Stones project, which is starting soon. A reminder that this is a group who is looking to uncover the names of people enslaved in West Hartford and tell their stories. They are interested in having members of Mayor's Youth Council petition to Town Council to help rename some streets in West Hartford, specifically New Street, which is near the Noah Webster Library. This project could be rolled into one of the subcommittees, but I don't think that we'll be doing that at this time. If you're interested in participating in witness stones, it's still not too late. Just let me know by the end of the week, and then I will forward your name to Dr. Tracy Wilson, who is our town historian. I have one other announcement, and then we have a guest speaker who's here. The other announcement is about the Community Center Advisory Group that I mentioned at our last meeting. If you recall, this is a group of 9 members who will be an advisory board to design the new multi-use community center that will be constructed at 100 Mayflower Street in West Hartford. This building will house a community, cultural, teen, and senior center, as well as the new Faxon Library branch. Chris from Mayor's Youth Council has volunteered to be the Mayor's Youth Council liaison to this group, and we have submitted his cover letter and resume for their approval. So he will hopefully begin meeting with this group in the spring to make suggestions for the new building. So Chris, good luck with that, and we hope that you will be representing our group.
Awesome. So we have a guest here. Zoe from the West Hartford Climate Project is going to come speak to us about what she's doing with her group and how we might be able to collaborate with their group. So Chair recognizes Zoe.
Hello. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. I'm Zoe Weissman. I'll be short because I want to be respectful of your time, but I'm a part of West Hartford Climate Project, and our main goal at the moment is to pass a climate emergency resolution, which I will summarize is a resolution that, if passed, will recognize climate change as a West Hartford emergency, and then also catalyze and plan the next steps to dealing with environmental sorts of actions. And one of the main things we're really excited about this commission doing and having is, first off, having youth representation, which I'm sure is something that many of you would be excited about as a group of high school students. And then also having, we would like the commission to create a climate 2050 plan to even further create concrete steps and allow more planning and possibly get carbon emissions from our town by 2050 to be 0. So where we're at right now is we're trying to get onto the town council agenda, and we have gone through one committee with standing council people, but we might have to go through another. We're still working things out. And on the topic of collaboration, I know that my group, unfortunately, not everyone can be here tonight. We were really excited to collaborate and hear with you all because, especially in local politics, there's often an absence of student voices, and that's a valuable perspective that needs to be honored. And to hear feedback from you guys on what we are working on, and also hear what you all are doing, environmental work and otherwise, is just really inspiring. And we'd love to maybe meet on another time or hear more about what you guys are doing, and also maybe tell you more about it in depth at another date if we could, and get more hands-on feedback.
Thank you so much, Zoe. And I could just speaking for myself, that sounds amazing. I think we have to think about how we would collaborate, because whether we'd collaborate as an entire group or whether we'd collaborate having people from our group who might be like a liaison, like Chris is doing, and kind of talk with your group about our ideas, and we can have different meetings on that. Does anyone have any ideas or questions for Zoe? I recognizes Mrs. Karp.
So I'm thinking 2 things. The first thing is that if we do create this Mayor's Youth Council webpage, we could include the West Hartford Climate Projects as a piece of the webpage. So if there are teens in West Hartford who are interested in helping real world with this climate initiative, we can give them information on how they can participate. So we could definitely put that on our website. Also, Zoe, I can, if you have future meetings that are coming up, I'm not sure if you meet in person or in WebEx or whatever, but if you want to send me information about your meeting times, I can send those to the Mayor's Youth Council. So if there's any members who are interested in participating and collabing with you, I would definitely share that information. I'd be glad to do that. So think those are two things that Mayor's Youth Council could do to help the group, but I'm not sure if anyone has any other ideas.
I recognize Zara.
Hi Zoe. Do we have your email at all to maybe reach out in the future?
Chair recognizes Zoe.
Yes, I did give it to Grace, and she can pass it along if that works. And also, in response to Mrs. Carp, both of those ideas sound great. We do meet pretty regularly, so I could get those times for you. And yeah, we have been working on our own website, and so to possibly have that collaboration would be a really valuable source, and I think would be awesome.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Carp.
Yes, so this is like my dream and vision for the website. It could be a landing page for teens in West Hartford who want to be politically active or who want to get involved in these issues. So if they want to go to a mental health program, if they want to help the environment, if they want to celebrate diversity in the town, we're giving them different options of how they can take action and get involved. So I'm very excited about all of this. So thank you for bringing the environmental side to it, Zoe. I appreciate hearing about that.
Does anyone else have any other ideas or questions for Zoe? Chair recognizes Fiona.
I would just like to say thank you for coming to talk to us, and I definitely think we should have another meeting, possibly with your committee and with us, so we can actually talk about it and get some ideas across. I think this is extremely important. We haven't really talked so much about the environment, which is an amazing an opportunity we really should discuss. So I think we should definitely have a meeting where the different groups can talk about it and discuss.
Yeah, I really like that. I don't know, like the logistics of that. Like if there were not, like if we had less than 6 Mayor's Youth Council members at a meeting, could we do it separate from having it streamed? Yeah. Okay. Chair recognizes Zoe.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I definitely understand that's something you'd have to look into, and I'm gonna have to go back to my group and we're gonna have to have our own conversations before we do any move forward. And I just want to thank you all so much for letting me be here, but I do have to go, unfortunately. But I will see you all.
So much, Zoe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Zoe.
Does anyone have any more questions or thoughts? I will post her with her, she gave her permission. I will post her email in Google Classroom, and anyone that's interested in collaborating or working with them can totally reach out to her. I think it'd be cool if we had a separate meeting with people who are interested, as long as like I guess we can have 6. So if we had like 5 people who wanted to meet with, or yeah, it doesn't matter, as long as we have at least one who would want to meet with the West Hartford Climate Project at a separate date outside of Mayor's Youth Council meetings, to discuss possible collaborations or how we can help them and how they can help us. Would anyone be interested in that? Okay. We can discuss more. We all have each other's email. We can discuss over Discord or Google Classroom or by text to talk about the logistics of that a little bit more. Does anyone have any more thoughts about the West Hartford Climate Project before I proceed? Does anyone have any more council related announcements before I proceed? Okay, so seeing that all agenda items have been discussed, I move that we adjourn this meeting. Does anyone second?
I second.
Fiona seconds. All in favor say yes.
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 All opposed say no. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. The next meeting is on December 21st at 6 p.m. See you all there. Bye, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.